So, welcome everyone. My name is Pranjal Jain, and today I'm going to explain about large language model, how to use in your local system. So, by the end of 15-20 minutes, you will going to know how you can run your own large language model for free. So, let's get started. Oh yeah, about my introduction, I work in a company as a AI ML developer. For the presentation, you can scan it quickly. So even if at the back you cannot read the information, you can see in your phone. So it's better you can just scan it and get the presentation on your phone. So the question is like, how many of the people you use AI on your own system? Does anybody use? Okay. Okay. And which service you use? Olama. And anybody use? Okay. Olama which 2.1 or 3. The one which is recently? Which version? Yes.
You mean the model? Like no, Olama is the.
No. Olama in which version? Which model? Basically, I'm asking.
You can use Llama 3, Llama 2, even
Yep.
Llama, Code Llama.
Okay, so we have one of the guy who is, yes, let's start it. So the agenda is like, what is large language model? We will go with the overview, a little bit of theoretical, so that you have a understanding what we are talking about, and then we will going to have a demo on it. I will show you run the code, and we will discuss using ChatGPT or using other services, which one will be the best and how is the performance. So let's get started. So large language model, basically in very, very easy words, it's like a large neural networks trained on the internet level of scale of data. Like you have internet copied on your system, on the model. So in easy words, this is the large language model. Few of the services everybody knows, like we have ChatGPT from OpenAI, we have different model from Google, like Bard, and today we will going to use Gemini. I will show you the Gemini. And then we have Llama model from Facebook and Meta. Here is then overview of how large language model. So you have all the resources which goes into the neural networks architecture. It trains, learns, and then gives the information. Super easy. You have large language model. You have training the data. You train the data. You use like, hey, explain me what is anything like what is machine learning or what is linear regression. So it will get you the output. Very easy, simple. Muy fácil. Okay. So here is also the same. You have the data which is collected. You train, and then you make the adaptation and execution. So for this presentation, we will be working on something which is like on your personal information. Like you have written like 15 different articles, or you have 15 different documents from your company, and you want to use that information, and you cannot, let's say, you cannot upload it on the ChatGPT, right? So there is a thing like illegal or like GDPR thing that you cannot share the information because they take the information. So I will going to tell you how you can bypass that information and you can use the large language model, including you can upload whatever you want and ask them to do it with the same efficiency of ChatGPT 4. So here is like one more information, like detailed information about the main components. Like large language models are based on transformers, and there are a few more things. So I will going to skip this part because this part is something if you want to get deep into it. So I'm trying to skip this part, but for the future, you can keep, if you are learning all the step by steps, if you want to learn more, this is the part you have to learn. And yes, I can explain you this part is little bit information. So there are like different types of architectures. like encoder, decoder, and encoder, decoder both. So in short, what you have to know for today, like ChatGPT use decoder model. Another model, they use encoder type. It's like they encode the information before and then give to you. ChatGPT, they decode after and then present to you. And you don't have to worry about much detail because we will not going to use any of them. But for knowing, it's important to know. So different way to build LLM model. This is something which we are interested in. So the first is prompt engineering. You go to the ChatGPT, open, type the information, and get the information back. This is prompt engineering. The second is RAG. So today I will covering this kind of application. Here we are main focus on and fine-tuning the LLM models. Fine-tuning is something which usually a company uses. You have a large data set, you train according to your data set, and then you ask like, hey, what is happening in my company? And then it will give the response according to your questions with your information. So this is like fine-tuning and training LLM from the scratch. This is also, we cannot do it. You cannot train a model from at your system, it will going to explode. Yeah, please.
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Because
please.
I try to talk to ChatGPT, but I
Yep.
don't understand one thing because LoRa and fine-tuning is the same, or?
Yes.
Can we actually, we're going to do like a question Q&A at the end.
Mhm.
So can we
Yep.
finish the presentation? and
Yeah,
then-
of course.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yes, it's the
Yes.
same. Mhm. So to explain prompt engineering, RAG, fine-tuning, and making the present. Okay, so now let's get started. So here we see the ChatGPT, which is an application. That's the large language model, and we have the open API key. So these are the key which we're going to use to build our personal LLM model at a local system. So we can train an application, anything, and then using ChatGPT. So now, we cannot use directly just an API to build it. We cannot use it because there are few things which we need to know. It's a higher cost, no access to the private data source, and it does not go to the live because we are just using the model into the system and using it. So to overcome this challenge, we are using LangChain. It's a framework which use to build the large language model. In short, for today, in this short presentation, just remember we are working with LLM models using LangChain, and you're good to go. There are a few companies, the top companies. Also, I have to add NVIDIA because recently they released a very good one, NVIDIA model. So ChatGPT, Meta, and Google. Now let's switch to the working part. I hope we have good time. I have uploaded all the codes in my GitHub. I will share the links. In the presentation, there is a link, so you just copy. There is the full instruction how you can execute in your own system. If there is some issue, you can just let me know. I cannot share my screen. The chat. Yes, I cannot share the screen.
Yeah, you were showing the presentation.
No. Wait. And the slideshow.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you. So, right now, when you open the GitHub repository, just clone it. And first step is like to install all the requirements. So pip install, get all the requirements. The second step is to create an environment. Environment so that our application can run into it. So second step is to create an environment. I have already created, and then you have to add one more information, which is like Google API key. So Google API key, let me show you how we can get the Google API key. I provided the link. So it's like aistudio.google. And from here, you have to click on generate key. Once you click on the generate key, and then you have to specify the project and generate it. So you get a generated. In some case, there is a possibility that you cannot access, they're asking for the bill. Just use the VPN, change it to another country. I use for India, it's worked well, and you will get for unlimited. Okay, so when I was doing this a month before, Europe is not allowed it. So the countries which is external, you can use it. So from here, copy the API key, put it here in the .environment file. Once you paste it, and then that's all. You don't have to worry about anything. You just run the application, and it will going to execute. I will explain you how it works. So let's try to run it, and then we will see how the things are working. Okay. So this application, we are using Streamlight as the framework, which use LangChain in order to make the application. So here, if you see, we have a menu where you can upload n number of files, PDF files. There is no limit. You can upload thousands of documents. And then you can ask whatever your question is. So we can let's try if it's working or not. Okay. So once you apply, and it's submitted. So let me explain you what is going in the back. So we have a PDF. It has many words, many letters. So what the systems do, it's take the text, and it's divide everything into the small parts, which we call as the chunks. So it's divide all the full phrases into the smaller lines, like a chunk, and then this chunk goes into here, the vector embedding. So it converts, because the model cannot understand the letters. It converts everything into the numbers, like 0.1, 0.2. So it converts everything into the embeddings, and then it's memorized and stored in the local. Here is the place where it's stored. So you put the information, it's cracked into the small chunks, and then store, and then you can ask anything. So it can go through one by one. So we have submitted. You can submit more of the documents, and then let's say, what is quantization? It's not in the PDF file, but if it has no information, it will say like, no, we don't have the solution. Or if it has the solution, it will show the solution. Answer, not available in the content. So this is how you have to make sure that, it's not giving the false information, it's giving the correct information. Okay, let's try something else. What is hybrid? Because this is like, I make specifically a document which shows how we can use RAG application in the hybrid way. So it's trying to demonstrate the results. So, and now we will going to test some more models after this. You see, we got the answer. And now if we make some, let's kind of spelling mistakes, like, let's say, we make something weird. So let's see if our model can understand or not. Because usually when we type on ChatGPT, we make the mistake, but ChatGPT understands everything. Let's try if it can be useful or not. So usually it gives the answers. And you see, we make the mistake in the spelling, but still it gives the answer. So it means it is having that understanding of your language, which you can work. So this is like the very first application. Let's move to the second application. So this application is like question and answering chatbot, just clone as ChatGPT. You can ask the question, it will get the answer back. Okay, somebody has some interesting question to ask? Yeah, please.
When you send the prompts,
Yep.
in the previous application, I understand that the model understands the intent and the entity, and then sends that to the vector
Yep.
database.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And then it fetches back from the vector database. And yeah. So let's say we have this question, what is quantization? Again, wrong spelling, wrong working. And let's see if it can answer or not. This is running slow because we have internet issue, otherwise it's super fast. And you get the information. The response, you have everything with the code included. So this is like we are using Gemini 4, like the one which is like the latest one, 1.5 Pro, the model. So that's why we are having the best results right now as compared with ChatGPT 4. And now let's it is also doing the same information. If we talk about the code, it's doing the same information, taking the text, processing it using the ChatGPT API, and then giving you the response back as an application. So here, let's move to the one more application. This would be something more interesting. So this takes images as an input, and you get the response. You can ask anything, and it can explain. So we can test this in this application, Gemini application, and let's see how this and ChatGPT responds at the same time. So we will get like, okay, the accuracy is very much high. Okay, linear regression. Let's take some images and ask the ChatGPT and at the same time Gemini to explain the images. And you see, we have less than 50 lines of code in the total. So that's the beauty of streamlined application, and that's the beauty of the API. You're doing nothing, just using like 50 lines of code and getting your results. It's not difficult, just install it, copy the same thing, and run it on your local system. Okay, I will take another image, it's taking a long time. So this is like an activation function of machine learning. And now we will going to ask about, okay, tell me about the image. And let's see if he can understand or not. And we will going to ask the same question to ChatGPT, and it will going to okay, so he understands and he gives the response back. And now, do you think like, no, it's not what we are looking for? So we can like write that something like, please give me a code for the image. Okay, now let's try to make some spelling mistakes. Image, the code. And let's see. So let's see our model is efficient or not. If it's efficient, we will get the response. Yep, we get something. Not exactly, but yes, we get it. So when I test it in many of when we compare, it works very well. And you don't have to pay for anything. You just use it, you upload your file of your project works or personal details, just upload it. If it's in the image form, use the vision one. because it's using the model, like multi-model model, like who take the images, and it works very well. I have tried in few of them. Now here I prepare like few of them, like which take the history also. So if you have a conversation, it's record the history. So it's in chat 2 PDF and in QA2 PDF. So it just take all the records, whatever you type, so that you don't lost somewhere. And vision is like the last one. So overall, this is like very interesting one. You can try to implement it. And now, it's not in the presentation, but I'm thinking like we have enough time. Do we have enough time?
No, we should do the Q&A.
Okay. So this is like you can use ChatGPT, Gemini in all of them, all of the use cases. There is no restriction, no GDPR, everything is personally on your local host, because you can see it's stored here in the pickle format. So you upload thousands of things, nobody will going to ask, and you get your things done. So that's the best thing. And then rest is like, this is like something, fine tuning is like more on the top of it. First try to go with that basic and then jump to the fine tuning. Applications, I think everybody knows the application we can use for coding, sentiment analysis, text generation. And how we use in our company is like we train the model and try to give the forecasting. But in the forecasting, we use different, we use LSTM model, which is based on the series of the data when you have series of times and you give. So we are not using LLM for the forecasting, but we are using LLM for different services. Like to analyze all the reviews, you have got the reviews, check if it's good, is it bad, what's, also it's like in multi-language so that it can understand, okay, in Germany what is happening, in Spain what they are saying. So the future and comparison, yeah, also, don't think like we can use LLM in everywhere. We cannot use generative AI in everything. We have to make sure where we can use and where we cannot use. There are few models which needs like human-like answers, so you use generative AI. But you cannot use everything based on LLMs. Okay, so in the conclusion, for the today, you are, I would say like congratulations, you know how to make your own ChatGPT-like model and you can install and run in your system. So just try it. Here are like resources. In this NVIDIA, they also provide like good models, which is like better than ChatGPT-4 or compared to ChatGPT-4 or Gemini. So everybody is like fighting to get which one is the first one. But for you, use the Gemini 4, create the free API, install it in your system, and you can use without restriction, without any worry. You don't have to worry about anything. And yes,